good morning, guys. This is like the third time I'm trying to start the reading, and like, I don't know. I started to pull a reading, and then it was like the same, like, this person that we've seen, or people, I don't know. All these masculines seem to be stuck in their feelings and not doing anything. And like, it's not that I'm not empathetic to the journey of the masculines, but also like at this moment, I feel like I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Yeah, that's what you guys are doing. I don't know. And then it's just, I don't know. There's sort of this energy at the moment of like real kind of aggravation, irritation. I saw it a lot yesterday. Well, and there's the seven of wands. So there we go. I think I didn't want to use my Russian deck, but I feel like that's where the message is today. So let's just go into it. All right. And then, that's the Empress, I believe. Okay, it's the Ten of Wands. All right. It is the Knight of Cups. It's the Tower. I think part of it too is that we're moving, we're like into Scorpio season now. And, whether you realize it or not, everybody's energy does flow. I mean, it's, if nothing else, the seasons alone have impact on our energy, right? Even if you don't go along with actual zodiac seasons, but Scorpio season is about, it's about destruction. It's about rebirth. It's about tearing down things that don't work and building them up in ways that do. Okay. The Four of Pentacles. The Sun. All right. You know what? Forewarning. Because this is, all right. You know what? I'm not going to be in my, okay. Magician. I'm not going to be in my nicest mood today. I'm a bit fed up. I'm a bit fed up. And I feel like I'm not alone on this. I feel like there are other feminines that are just like, I don't. Okay. We've got the Seven of Wands, which is a card about conflict. It's a card about, especially conflict, like with competitors, like wanting to, having to fend off multiple competitors. And there's an Empress sitting here. So that's what the conflict is about. Someone is concerned about, this Empress and having multiple suitors. And, the Ten of Wands, this is an ultimate burden for them. They want to rush in and, offer, but their cup of romance, and they have these dreams and visions and stuff like this. But you know what? I'm glad I stuck it out, because here's the Tower clarified by the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is a card about stalemate. It's about sitting in indecision. The card in the Smith Coleman artwork has a girl with a blindfold, and she has two swords there. But basically, it's about not making a decision and kind of being stuck in indecision. And guess what? That's creating a tower. And that's exactly what I was saying. Like, coming into this reading, is it's just like, I feel like the divine feminines are a bit like, fed up of all of these masculines, like being in their feelings, and not taking any action. They're feeling burdened. They want to come in with this romance, but they're not doing shit. Like, they're not doing anything, right? They're holding on. They see you as their happiness. But here's the thing too. The magician is here. And it's clarified by the Eight of Cups. the magician in particular in this Russian card, the magician can be about manifesting, but it can also be about manipulation. And you know, okay. Yeah. I feel compelled to, this is one of my favorite, if you're ever trying to learn tarot, I feel like this is a great book. It's a lot about, you know, traditional meetings, like kind of older meetings. But I feel like it's worthwhile when you're actually like learning all of those. Okay. So anyway, just feel guided. Okay. Yeah. So the Eight of Cups in the traditional deck, just to remind you of the artwork, is about walking away from something, right? It's abandonment, detachment, spiritual journey, but it's about turning your back. You've put in a lot of work and effort into something, and then, you know, you're deciding that, like, realizing that, like, it doesn't matter how much work you put in. You've got to walk away. But in this Eight of Cups, it's, you know, there's a soldier, a giant soldier, that's looking out, like, you know, past he's standing, you know, at the edge of like a walled city, like a fortress almost. And you know, looking out. So you would presume that he's looking at the energy. This is, you know what? This is the thing that I don't love about this, is because, like, these masculines that we've been getting lately in these readings, they're like, they almost, you know, a lot, there's been history with all of them, right? All of these masculines, that their energies that are popping up. There's some history, there's been some loss, but there's been some, you know, kind of separation, walking away, whatever it is. And then, you know, this is the same energy in this reading. We see them essentially identifying that there are other people around this Empress, and then they're feeling overburdened by that, and they want to come in with this romantic gesture, but they sit there and they do nothing, and they hold on and they daydream and they're fantasizing and saying, this person is my happiness, right? But then in terms of what they're manifesting, like, it seems like their focus is almost being, you know, like, even though this is about the Empress, that they almost become like more concerned with, like, less concerned with actually taking any action or communication towards this Empress, and just, like, you know, trying to figure out how they're going to defeat these other suitors and competitors. And that the focus isn't even, you know, really on, like, there's still been no action. And it's creating a tower, right? Because I feel like, you know, the Empress is like, that's not what I came here for. Why are you even, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? So yeah, tell me more about this tower then. Let's get some clarification on that. High Priestess. Eight of Swords. Right. Essentially, so in terms of how the Divine Feminine is perceiving this, you know, the Divine Feminines are, you know, especially ones in an Empress energy, right? They're in touch with their intuition. They have access to intuition and guidance, like, from the universe, right? And they're perceiving this, you know, this Eight of Swords, these masculines being in this stuck victim mentality. They're perceiving that. Do you see what I mean? Like, you know, in this card, there's a cat that's been all tied up by these mice that are then kind of marching it away, probably to kill it, right? But that somehow, even though the Empress is sitting here, right, like, and you know, I think has an awareness these masculine energies are sort of watching her, thinking about her, like whatever the case may be. You know, she sees them in this stuck energy, in this victim mentality, and that they're getting their feelings hurt, that there's even the presence of these other masculines around her when none of them are actually taking action towards her. Like they're just they've all been in this stuck energy, and they're more focused on somehow competing with each other. But again, none of that, you know, seems to have like comes back to the Empress in any terms of communication. And y'all, like once someone is in like their Empress energy, right? And divine feminines, you know this, like you know your worth, right? And you've done a lot of your healing. And so you're just like not terribly impressed with like that kind of victim mentality, or like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, the Page of Pentacles. And the divine feminine, I feel like it's just, you know, they're seeing these masculines kind of fumble around. In this Page of Pentacles, you know, there's a feminine, you know, back here with her hands over her eyes, and then there's a masculine with, you know, that's got a book open. He's super focused on the book, and he's about to walk into a hole. And so I believe like the divine feminine energies at this point are kind of like, what are you guys doing? Like, you know, Page of Pentacles is a card that's supposed to be about a gift or offer, but you know, this masculine isn't walking towards the feminine here. It's actually walking away from her, further away from her, and about to fall into a massive hole. And that's the thing. That's the thing. That tower is the hole. That you know, you've got to understand that when a divine feminine, you know, is in Empress energy, she knows her worth and she's focused on herself. That, you know, she at this point has good boundaries. She has that self-love. She has that, you know, sort of focus, drive, and motivation towards, you know, progressing along her spirituality, her growth, her career, her, you know, physical needs and her environment, her family, you know, if she has children, pets, whatever the case may be. You know, the divine feminines are taking action for themselves. You know, they're just moving forward at this point. And I feel like there was, you know, like these masculines, you know, she may have been willing to entertain like a conversation, or, you know, whatever, if these suitors, you know, had intentions to come in and make her an offer. That's something, you know, she's potentially willing to listen to. Right? You know, you see in this card, in this Empress energy, she's just sitting there like in her garden, you know, surrounded by her abundance, the flowers, like whatever. She's not in a defensive stance. She's content. She's just, you know, kind of doing her thing. But, you know, with a divine, a healed, like divine feminine that's in Empress energy, she doesn't want nonsense. Like, she doesn't want nonsense. And she definitely doesn't, an emperor is not going to be coming in with victim energy. So I feel like she's perceiving this and just being like, just like, you know, like this woman in the Page of Pentacles card, where she's just kind of got her hands over her eyes and being like, I can't even watch. I can't even watch this, right? All right. So what's going to happen for our Empress? In this situation, or these situations? Ten of Pentacles, clarified by the Nine of Cups. Judgment, clarified by the Emperor. Yes. That's what I want to see for you guys. That's what I want to see. All right, and the Nine of Wands. The World. Finally, you guys, this is a good reading. This is a good reading for my divine feminines out there. Okay, the Five of Cups, the Two of Wands, the Nine of Swords, Justice. All right, so you guys, in terms of, we got Judgment, we got the Emperor, we got the World, we've got Justice, and the Empress. So again, the Empress and the Emperor are out. We are seeing divine counterparts here. And I believe what this is saying is, I asked then what's going to be coming and happening for our Empress here. And we've got the Ten of Pentacles, which is about, that's about like a strong, enduring family, not just foundation, legacy. So, this person does have the Ten of Pentacles coming in for them. And that's clarified by the Nine of Cups, which is a card about wish fulfillment. And in this card in particular, in this deck, there's, there's the man with all of his cups on his table, but you can see underneath it, hopefully you can see, sometimes I get these too far out. Hopefully you can see, there's an angel and a devil sitting under the table. And so, with this Nine of Cups, I think that there's kind of a message within there about like, there's wish fulfillment, but sometimes, the hard part is often the devil comes to us looking like everything we always wanted. And I feel like empresses are aware of that. They've learned that. It is, and we see it reflected over and over and over and over again with people who go into these karmic relationships, right? Often they're very superficial, maybe the karmic is like very attractive, whatever the case may be, but they look like everything this person wants in their unawakened state, right? And so in terms of this, I feel like it's almost, what the Empress has gone through in terms of, her wish fulfillment, her Ten of Pentacles coming, is being able to sort out those devils and angels. Do you see what I mean? And determine what is presenting itself as something I want and what is the thing that I actually want. Do you see what I mean? I feel like that's been part of this Empress's challenge is like, being able to tell the difference between someone who, may sit there or say lots of things like, I love you, you're everything to me, you're my happiness, but doesn't actually take any action. I mean, that's what we've seen repeatedly, in the messages over the past week or so. I don't know, but is these stuck energy masculines. And so, I think what the Empress is realizing, or what learning they've achieved is that you can't rely on anyone's words. You can't, the Empress decides based on actions, how people show up for her. If you want to be a part of the Empress's life, you got to show up, you got to be consistent, you got to match her energy, right? And so she's gone through lessons where she's been able to see and realize the difference between, that devil energy and the angel energy, what is true and what just looks like what something that I've been trying to manifest, right? But the next card, Judgment, the Emperor, right, is clarified by the Emperor. So the divine judgment in this is that they see that this Empress has gone through these trials, right? And I feel like, this Tower coming out, I feel like, you may have walked away from all of these other suitors, all of them, at some point in the past, and just said enough's enough, right? But that was the path. That was the path. That is the divine judgment now for you, is that the Emperor's coming in. The Emperor's coming in, right? Now, then there's this Nine of Wands, which is, it can be a card about, defensiveness, kind of burden, that energy. But in this card, there's a guy with his dogs, in the forest, looking through the trees towards this bear and kind of like hiding from him. And then the world is clarifying that. And what I believe, this says here is that then all of these energies, these suitors that got seemingly so wrapped up in this fantasy or obsession about the conflict of these other suitors that may have been surrounding, like the Empress, well, they all get left out in the cold. They all get left out in the cold, because the difference between an emperor and them is that the emperor takes action, right? They were standing around watching, and their karma is that all of these cycles are closing as this emperor comes in, and they remain just watching. They remain just watching, right? And it shows the Five of Cups, which is a card about grief. It's a card about grief of something that you've lost. And the Two of Wands is about making a decision. They lost because they didn't make a decision, because they stayed in that stuck, stagnant fantasy energy, all of this hyper masculinity, distorted masculinity of being more focused on what other masculine energies were around the Empress, rather than just putting their focus completely on the Empress and taking action towards her, right? So they get to see their chance, just kind of evaporate into thin air, and then they're left watching, and they're left grieving because they didn't make a decision. And what it shows is that Nine of Swords, that, that energy of like, sort of a nightmarish energy. It's about, not being able to sleep at night, being burdened by the regrets of your past, being haunted by all of these fantasies that you've kind of placed in your head around you. Again, it's that victim mentality. It's that victim mentality of like, all of this then is stuck in their head, but it's showing that that's justice. It's showing that that's justice, and hopefully that's their learning, right? Because the Empress had learning here too, and she had to go through and kind of see and deal with all these different options that kind of never actually. They focused on her in terms of watching her, in terms of maybe even obsessing or whatever, but they didn't really love her, right? Because if they loved her, they wouldn't care about anybody else in the world. They would just be heading straight towards their Empress. That's what this Emperor is going to do, right? He's just coming straight in. He's like, yeah, and that is what the Empress needs. But she had to go through dealing with these other people, these other parties, karmics, maybe false twin flames, like whatever the case may be. She had to go through and suffer through that, right? Because, an Empress is authentic. It's somebody that, lives with their whole heart. They're not giving their heart away to every person they meet, right? But they're trying to interact with people from a space of authenticity, to, to be open-minded, to look genuinely at people. And so this Empress was, sitting here, maybe dealing all of these situations that have come up in the past week or so have been people that something went wrong in the past. There's a separation, there's no contact, whatever the case may be, right? The Empress got hurt too. The Empress got hurt too. And I don't even think that, like, where's the acknowledgement about that? These masculines are just so hyper focused on like who these other suitors might be. Like, who's actually coming in to apologize to this Empress, to make her an offer, to, express their feelings, to state their intentions? none of that's been happening in these readings. None of that's been happening. They've all just been like dicking around, basically, in their victim energy, stuck in their head, in their feelings, whatever the case may be. And that created a lot of pain for this Empress as well. But, you know, she took from it that learning of like, you know, basically like that's the difference between a devil and an angel, right? Is like the devil promises you everything, but what you get is very different than what you thought it was going to be, right? Whereas like with an angel, like an angel is going to what they say is what you get, right? You know what I mean? Like there's going to be clarity, there's going to be integrity, and sometimes you really got to sort that out. And this, you know, this Empress may have gone through 9 different cups to figure this out, right? Like, I mean, I don't know, but you know, the Empress is, you guys went through all of this and sort of really on your own, right? Because even these energies were watching and surrounding and stuff like that, who was coming in to support you, right? No, you went through this on your own. Well, guess what? They have to go through that on their own as well now too. And I feel like this is a permanent loss because this Emperor coming in, let's get some more information on this Emperor, you know. And let me use a different deck here. What do I want? I'm gonna use this. Tell us about this Emperor. How is he going to come in for this Empress? Okay, 9 of Cups. It's funny, right there. And that's, you know, I really focused on this card too, talking about how that was so important for the Empress. Kind of, that was the learning with all of these energies, you know, from her past. Is she was able to sort out what's real, what's genuine, what's authentic, and what's not. 9 of Cups, 10 of Cups. Wow. Okay, we've got the 10 of Wands. And the 9 of what? 9, 10. 10, 9. Two of Wands. Wow, that's the, you know... it's about making choices, but on this card it says unity. King of Swords. So this King of Swords energy pops out finally here. So 9 of Cups, that's, you know, about wish fulfillment. 10 of Cups is about like that ultimate, like, you know, kind of family, romantic, happiness, love, contentedness. You know, so what it says is, you know, there's wish fulfillment coming in. There's love. There's that, this Emperor energy is coming in. You know, and then there's the 10 of Wands, which can be about like that ultimate burden, right? That ultimate burden, feeling overwhelmed. And, the 9 of Wands clarifying it is, you know, about determination. Like you're going to keep marching no matter what, you're going to keep marching through this. I almost get a sense here too, that it's like that when this Emperor comes in, like what, you know, especially with this 2 of Wands here, this person coming in, they want to share their burdens, or they want to share your burdens. Like, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. You know what I mean? And so like, this is a person that when things are tough, when you feel overwhelmed, like you can't keep going, this person is going to give you, and this may be the point at which they come into your life as well, by the way, is when you feel like that kind of highest point of burden here. And then someone comes in, this person, this King of Swords comes in and helps you keep moving forward. That basically they want to come in and help share that burden with you. Again, that's taking action, right? Like, you know, wands are about actions. And I think that's what we're seeing, like, you know, for this Empress, because she was surrounded by inaction, surrounded by spying, by competition, by, victim mentality, by all of this stuff. And someone's going to come in now. And when she needs it the most, they're going to step up and take action with her, you know, share her burdens and give her that kind of strength and determination to keep moving forward. Two of Wands is about making a choice. And so I get, and it's clarified by the King of Swords. And I get the sense that this person, when they come in, like this is not a person that has any problem making a decision. He makes decisions. He knows what he wants, and he communicates it, and then he backs that up with actions. That's the King of Swords, right? A strong, clear communicator. Now, this may not be the most romantic king, right? But like, he's a good communicator, and he backs up what he says with action. Okay. I'm going to get some Kipper on this King of Swords as well. Tell me a little bit more about this King of Swords. Because I'm curious, do you know them yet? Are they coming in? Oh, courthouse. It's funny, they actually even kind of look alike. You know, this guy, in the courthouse card, he's wearing like one of those British legal wigs, right? You know, like he's a lawyer. But like, he's got the same kind of like facial hair. He's got a beard and a mustache, and he looks spot on like this King of Swords. So, you know, I don't know, maybe, so this is someone, if they're far away from you, okay, this is a potentially long distance thing. But yeah, let's get some more. Could be a lawyer though. Again, somebody who works with government. Message. You'll receive a message from this person. A little bit more. Expectation, sudden wealth, mature man. So they may be somebody that's a little bit older than you. Again, like, you know, they may work something around the law, around government, you know, something like that. And we did see, you guys, by the way, just saying, we did see both judgment and justice come out surrounding this emperor. Okay. So, so in terms of the law, or you know what I mean? There is a strong energy surrounding this, you know, the legal system or something like that. But yeah, message. I want a little bit more energy. I mean, I don't want to completely ruin the mystery, right? But I'm just trying to figure out who this person is. Let's see. How did you meet this person? Death. Clarified by the Queen of Wands. Okay, the Four of, I guess I've decided the acorns are actually swords. I think I had them backwards with the bells. So the Four of Swords. Tower. It's funny, we had the tower come out here and now the tower's out here. Okay, the Nine of Wands. And the Six of Pentacles. I'm going to read the little fairy book on this one. On the Four of Acorns. Okay, Four of Acorns. Living in touch with the beauties of nature is the highest inspiration of every fairy. This card is of rest, of fertility, and of good unweighted occasion. So, I mean, in the traditional deck, it's about healing. But this has like a softer energy to it. This Nine of Wands is like a card. It's like, that's like a bad omen card. And then the Six of Bells. Solidarity is an unappreciated worth, or sorry, is an appreciated worth among fairies. This card represents a given or received help. Okay, so it's really interesting here because you know how I said, like, you know, up here that that it may be a point in your life where you're experiencing like a sense of extreme burden, and that this person comes in and kind of helps support you, takes action to help support you. So that, you know, that's, so there's death, and then clarified by this Queen of Wands. Then this card of healing clarified by the Tower. And so I'm kind of picking up the same, you know, and this Tower, it may be on some level, right, that like, that it's actually this Tower, this falling apart, that happened once this Empress basically decided that she wasn't going to be waiting around on any of these people that weren't putting their action or focus towards her. She wasn't going to mess around with people that are just sitting around in stuck energy, like whatever, you know, and that was the Tower, right? So it could be coming in after this Tower where she's kind of healing, doing the healing from, you know, disconnecting from any of these kinds of energies whatsoever, that she's just done with it. And so, and this, you know, divine feminine energy, it's coming out as the Queen of Wands. So it may be a fire sign, a feminine energy, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, right? But it doesn't have to be. It can be more just about the energy, that this is somebody who is like confident, like attractive, really radiating, you know, but it's a death for her, right? It's a death of all of kind of like, even considering those kind of unsure energies in her life, because the Empress at this point, she's sure about herself, and she is sure about what she wants. And so she's just not going to entertain like people in her life right now that aren't sure of what they want. And in particular, if that thing that they're unsure about is her, right? She's putting an end to all of that. And she's just going to heal from this, right? She already knows how to heal. So she's going to just go ahead, you know, process through that, you know, and come out of it. She's not going to be bitter about it. She's not going to be like whatever. She's just going to heal, and she's going to move forward. From that Tower, from that realization that, like, you know, none of these options, they may have said a lot, they may have, you know, promised a lot, they may have felt a lot, they may have genuinely loved her, but not in the kind of love that was going to be, you know, supportive and growthful towards this Empress. And so that's just not what she wanted, right? So she's going to heal from that, though, that realization. And then it looks like what happens is, you know, the Nine of Wands. And again, we saw that up here, right? That there was the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Wands. So but at some point she is going to come up against this struggle, right? She's going to come up against this struggle. And what she gets out of that, what did I just say that the Six of Bells was? Oh, it's the support. It's basically, yeah, let me read that again. So solidarity is an appreciated worth among fairies. This card represents given or received help. And that's exactly what I said, right? So this Emperor is going to somehow come in and offer this Empress tangible assistance. He's not leading with his feelings. He's not leading with caring about who else is around this Empress or in her past or whatever. Like, this person just comes straight in with action to help. Like, that the Empress is in sort of like a tough moment. She's in a position of burden where she needs some assistance to move something forward. And this person comes in, and maybe it's by legal assistance. Maybe that's how you meet this person. Because I asked how you meet this person. And what it's basically telling me is this person comes in to assist and support you when you need it the most. And that's essentially how you're going to kind of know too that this person is your Emperor, is because they come in straight away with that action that you so desperately, kind of like wanted from these connections that you had in the past that just could not get their shit together, right? They couldn't get it together, that you ended up just sitting there waiting by yourself, and you decided to stop waiting. And you just said like, I'm going to move on. And you go on by yourself, right? But someone comes in for you at some point. And maybe they reach out to you like in a message and say like, hey, I saw this on your social media, maybe if you post something and like, oh man, like I wrecked my car. I can't like afford to, pay out X, Y, and Z to get it fixed at the moment. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Somebody is going to reach out to you and say like, hey, do you need a ride to work every day? Let me help you out. Like that's the energy that this person is coming in at. They're not, focused on trying to get you into bed. They're not, focused on, and they may want that, right? But they see that you need help, and that is their opportunity to take action towards you, and they jump on it because this guy has that mature man energy. And, it shows sudden wealth here too. So this may be a person who is very financially stable, and, they may be able to support you, financially, if that's the need that you have at that moment. I don't know. But it's showing that this is a very stable, confident, action oriented, intelligent too. I'm really sensing this is an intelligent person. And yeah, they just reach out and that's it. All right. So moving forward, what's that going to look like, for our Empress? Just kind of close this out. That is the 5 of Swords. That is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so what it shows here is that 5 of Swords. This you end up in this really, really stable, earthy, grounded, confident like position here. But you're the Empress, right? So of course, I mean, you're going to go through your trials, and you're always going to come out shining. What it shows you leaving behind in the past is all of this stupid competition stuff, right? The 5 of Swords here is, it can often be a card about one-upping or competing, competition, getting the upper hand. But, there's these 2 fairies sitting together in a leaf, and then there's this male fairy on the outside that's kind of like got their attention on it. And you're done with that. You're done with that. That's energy in the past. And it shows you just moving forward here. Onward and upward. All right, let me get a couple guidance cards, and then we'll just close out this reading. Oh, so grateful for the shift in energy, you guys. I know y'all are too. Okay. There is strength in doing nothing. Wait, what have you been forcing, and how can you let go of the outcome? I think honestly, I think this Empress was waiting a long time. And I feel that she, honestly, that the waiting was holding on to an outcome. That sitting there and waiting for any of these energies to come in and take action, is like, that was essentially doing something. Waiting is doing something. Right? That is trying to force an outcome. It's assuming that one of these people is going to end up being an emperor that comes in for you with this kind of energy. I don't think any of those people actually, they're not there yet. They just, because none of them, took action towards this Empress. And so I think the Empress was waiting, and she waited too long, and she decided she's done with that. And I think that these energies, these competing masculine energies, are going to learn that their waiting was a choice. right? That they're waiting and they're focusing on other things, and not ever taking action, that was a choice. Okay, so these fell on the floor. It's all in divine order. Allow. How can you relax into the flow and go with the current of life? I think there's a strong message that if you are like this Empress, right? Like, just because you have a strong connection with someone, or there may be a lot of synchronicities, or, whatever the case may be, I understand. I was reading on some threads last night, and these are people on twin flame pages, but they're very early in their journey. And a lot of them are, chasing their twins and stuff like that, because and I get it, because I went through the same thing myself. I get it. You get so locked into like, what is this connection? And like trying to figure it out. But, these connections come in to help us grow, right? They honestly, in some ways, they could never be anything more than this, is because this is the lesson that the Empress had to learn, is that there's a big difference between people who give you the impression that they're everything that you wanted, and people who are actually willing to show integrity of their character through their actions. That was the divine purpose of these connections. No matter how strongly, like, you may have experienced any synchronicities or felt like you were destined to be with that person, you were absolutely destined to be connected with that person. You were destined to cross their paths. You were destined to go through this connection, because it exposed the shadows that you needed to see to make that growth. And so if you're wondering why this all happened and what that was about, that's what it was about. It was, you needed that to learn. And hopefully they learned something from it too, Breathe. This moment matters most. How can you focus on the moment and appreciate all that is well? Divine Feminines, if you're in a space right now of feeling like loss surrounding, like, disappointment, frustration, I totally get it, right? I totally get it. But what it's saying is, like, just be present. Just focus on, like, look at you, Divine Feminine, how much you have grown, how much you have learned, how much you have integrated the lessons, and just really shifted and transformed your energy. Think back a couple years ago on this journey, right? Some people have been on this journey for an extremely long time. Think back about how much you have transformed, and the beauty that you have created around you. Like, you've done incredible things here. And your justice is coming. This, all the ways in which you have supported and interacted with people now, because you had some distortions in the past, right? You also probably had at some point some toxicities or codependence, kind of dynamics and relationships, whatever the case may be. And you've gone through this work and healing. And guess what? I feel like this Emperor that's coming in for you, he's already done all that work. He's already done all that work as well. And that's why he can see you. That's why he can identify you, is because once you've gone on this journey, again, he's already learned this. He's already learned what you just learned, Divine Feminine. And so that's how he's able to identify you as a Divine Feminine, is because, like, he's gone through that learning himself. He can identify it himself. And so that's why he knows exactly who you are. And he comes in with that confidence, with that action. And he's just like, that's it. This is my choice. You're my person. Let's go for this. Let's make this work. That doesn't mean that this person also isn't going to rush you. They're not going to love bomb you. They're not going to do any of those things, right? This person is going to show up for you. They're going to show up for you in the way that you've always shown up for other people in the past, and you've finally shown up for yourself now. That's why this comes in, is because he's not matching your energy. You are matching his energy. Do you see what I mean? You've just gone through that lesson, and now you're in his energy. So that's why he's coming into your life, is because you, Divine Feminine, just leveled up. So I'm going to leave it at that. Love this reading. I was really frustrated when I started. I started 3 times trying to do readings, and this energy just kept coming out, and I was like, I'm over it. I'm not, like, we get it. So this is beautiful. I think this is amazing, and I love it. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna pull, just because I really like these cards. I'm gonna pull one of these. What are we gonna get here? What are we gonna get? This is a special reading. I like it. Nature spirit. Okay, one more. I always say that with these cards. I'm like, let me pull one card. Okay, one more. Endings. Yeah, 100%. Like, so, the divine feminine is going to be going through, some endings here, right? She's just walking away from any of that kind of energy. Almost like it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal, but like, I'm just not doing that anymore. And this energy coming into the divine feminine's life, this emperor, right? This mature male that's headed her way. He knows how to be a divine masculine, right? He is in that, not in that distorted, toxic masculinity where he's going to be trying to manipulate you or get you to reach out first. Or this person's not playing games. He's not doing any of that stuff, right? And because he's in that healthy masculine energy of being like that calm, supportive leader, right? Like coming in and helping and supporting his feminine in a way that really allows her to embrace all of her full femininity. Because, you're going to be able to open your heart completely to this person. You're not going to have to keep going back into your masculine energy because these people won't take action. So you got to take action towards them, right? This person has balanced their masculine energy and their feminine energy. And that connection is going to help you to go fully into your feminine energy. And again, we all have masculine and feminine and it's a balance, but divine feminines are, that's exactly what the card shows. It's about abundance. It's about nature. It's about, like just life and creativity. And this person is going to, through that connection, give you all of this space to be 10% of exactly who you are. Do you see what I mean? Like this person allows you to be your fullest, greatest, and best self. And I love that for you. So that's it. I'm leaving it there. Yeah. Welcome to Scorpio season, guys. Love this. That is definitely that energy. Okay. All right. Have a great one. Bye.